Hello, I'm Karen Smith, the fascist. I'm a fascist, and I'm on paid administrative leave. I've oppressed kids for 20 years. To teach like a champion, you gotta oppress them all. You gotta oppress them all, and then you get paid. And it's not good for them. It destroys their humanity and their souls, and it doesn't matter. It's good for my career. So I'm Karen Smith, and I'm a PE teacher at the Adjuvine Middle School in Boulder. And, if those damn kids won't stand up for the pledge, I will attack them. That is my vow to you. As a teacher, I'll put my hands on them, and I will force them to stand. I will assault them. Might is right, and that's what freedom's about. You listen to the fascists. You listen to the oppressors. There was a report where a student had asked Melania if she would be with Donald Trump if he wasn't rich, and then she had asked a rhetorical question in response saying, well, would he be with me if I weren't beautiful? If I weren't beautiful, do you think he'd be with me? She quipped. This candid response from the FLOTUS illustrates a marriage as lackluster as any failed Trump business venture. Donald is rich. Melania is beautiful. Melania is a gold digger. Donald Trump is a man who needs a trophy wife. So it's business, right? They've actually been together for way longer than 7 years, for like 12 years or something. See, 2006. So for 11 years, they've already passed the 7-year itch, right? That's why they seem so cold and distant and awkward in public. It don't seem.
Donald Trump Jr. is both a patriot and a good man. My support is also unwavering for the president and his agenda. I regret my delay in responding to the inaccurate reporting regarding.
After that first postmodern book was written, Fire and Fury, right now with the postmodern age of fake news and the bullshitter and queef, for the internet age, where the internet generation, everything's supposed to change anyways. So this is fantastic. But I think we need to look at what's true and what's not true. So there's this report with Carla Bruni. Carla Bruni is this Italian-French singer, songwriter, and model. I think model is the big thing, but she does have some songs out there. She was also the former First Lady of France. She married Nicolas Sarkozy, who I think she's married to today. I thought he went to corruption charges or something, but Nicolas Sarkozy, president of France, in 2008, Carla Bruni had married the president of France, and that's
in the line of duty has risen by almost 50% compared to this point last year.
Flashback, 27 years ago, 1991, NBC's Today ran with the report. And Donald Trump is reportedly breaking up with Marla Maples, the woman said to have come between him and his wife Ivana. Anchor Doreen Getzler announced. The New York Post is reporting that she's been ordered out of Trump's luxury high-rise apartment, and that Trump has begun dating an Italian model named Carla Bruni. So there was, right? Huge news. The Marla Maples is out. Carla Bruni is in. Trump confirmed to the Post the next day that Carla Bruni was the new one in his life. New one in quotes. Yep, she's the new one in my life. Bruni, however, vehemently denied that she was dating Donald. According to one biography, Trump himself planted the story for publicity.
Nearly 180,000 illegal immigrants with criminal records ordered deported from our country are tonight roaming free to threaten peaceful citizens.
We have the picture of Carla Bruni and Michelle Obama, Carla being the one on the left. Michelle Obama seems to be giving Carla some serious shade. Like, I mean, she is just hate hateful. And she just look at her, mean mugging the shit out of her, like she just said something stupid, like, you know, I'd like to fuck your husband. What'd you say? I feel like if she would have said something like that, we would have known. So, damn, Michelle, like, tone it down a little bit. Why are you sitting next to the woman if you don't like her? So after her arrival in New York, he tracked her down at the Mayfair Regent Hotel and tried to ingratiate himself. Carla mischievously informed Donald that her sister was coming to town. He immediately offered to provide a room at the Plaza Hotel. The visitor was actually one of Carla's longtime female friends. Carla Bruni says this whole thing is just absolutely ridiculous, and she just hates the entire thing. So he had boasted in his memoirs that he's actually fucked high-profile women. He doesn't say who it is, but, you know, when he was sleeping with one of the top women in the world, according to who, I don't know, I would say to myself, thinking about me as a boy from Queens, can you believe what I'm getting? As in, like, man, I got some prime pussy, right? I got some primo... grade A steak. So it's like, can you believe me? He thinks of himself as a boy from Queens. Me, a boy who only got $1 million loan from his father. That's all I've ever had, just a loan. I had to pay that thing back, you know? It wasn't like a gift. It was $1 million loan. I'm like, ugh.
It is to everybody who speaks to him. If you spoke to the president, if you interviewed
1991, New York Post, why does any of this matter? Who gives a shit, right? But apparently in Puritan America, all Donald Trump's sex exploits was, what? Who's he fucking now? He did have, you know, one wife, and then he was, like, dating Marla Maples, even though he wasn't fully divorced, so it looked like he was essentially having this public affair, and now this public affair, which turned into a wife, is now turning into another divorce and another public affair. And so she denies it. She denies it in very strong terms. He's a lunatic, she said in an interview with the Daily Mail later that year. It had nothing to do with her. They did not break up because of her. It's so untrue. I'm deeply embarrassed by it all. I've only met him once, about a year ago, she said, at a big charity party in New York. And I haven't seen him since. So a big charity party at New York.
You know, I can tell you, and I actually have come to like Steve and think he's a man of enormous insights.
He just, you know, absolutely hates it. And I'm sure I would think there'd be more attention with that whole porn star. He didn't have protection when he fucked Stormy Daniels, too, which I thought was interesting. And she didn't complain about the sex. She said it was generic. He had one position, but as an old man, it was okay. And she also admitted that she was attracted to him. And she didn't want it to happen, but when she was sitting in his hotel and they were bantering and flirting, he came on to her and just started kissing her, and she didn't stop him. And she was like, I'm not for sure how it happened, and I don't know why I didn't tell him, you know, to stop. I think she was titillated by the entire experience, to be honest. How he set it up with her, how he came at her, how he had to call she had to call Keith, his bodyguard, or call his personal assistant and then patch it to him. Then he would call on a blocked number.
Household incomes are down more than $4,000 since the year 2000. That's 16 years ago.
Is that she only met him once, only one time. So I totally believe that, you know, this is a lie. This is a Donald Trump lie. And I kind of feel for him in some respects. I wish America would actually just, like, lift up their heroes. Like, oh, my God, you're the one who got us ranked choice voting, and then just, you know, the media splash that. But the media is a private business, private companies, and they have their own agenda. So you get these rich boys who get, you know, by the media empire to basically put out, you know, their bullshit. And then it's capitalist, and you got to get advertisers. That's the business model. But essentially, the media doesn't report what we need to know. They're not responsible information givers. They pick and choose. If it bleeds, it leads. If it's gory, it's a story. So just all the bloody issues, all the murders and the shootings, definitely we're going to cover those. but the meeting about the library board and the consolidation of the library.
To question the fitness of Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean, those are obviously people who want not to question the fitness.
Deal in 1991, so June 26, 1991, the tabloid, so this is like, what, National Enquirer, but New York Post says it's over, right? Marla Maples and Donald Trump, it's over. So this is really petty. Seems like maybe they were slipping, but this is Donald like trying to one-up her. Oh, I'll show you. And there's some other stupid little things he says. I want to just talk briefly just about the day. She said she only met him one time, and that was when he had tracked her at the Mayfair Regent Hotel, tried to ingratiate himself, said, here's a room at the Plaza Hotel. She said, I'll take it. And then her and her female friend and her boyfriend, her female friend's boyfriend, all went to the room that he gave her at the Plaza Hotel, and they were laughing at the King of Tacky. That's what they called him. Donald is the King of Tacky. And ha, 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 we got a hotel room.
What do we have to show for it? Our roads and bridges are falling apart. Our airports are third world and strong endorsement.
Record this guy, the PR man of Donald Trump in 1991, there seems to be two names that he uses. Sometimes he's John Miller, sometimes he's John Barron. So is this John Barron or John Miller? I don't know. I'm the PR guy for Donald Trump, and he's just a remarkable guy. All the women just want to have sex with him. It wasn't just Marla Bruni or Carla Bruni. It wasn't just Carla Bruni. Marla had once said that it's the best sex ever or some shit. So remember, she was the affair, and then she became the affairee. She was the cheater, and then she eventually got cheated upon. So this is, essentially it's a divorce. Donald Trump is trying to cover his ass up and act like, it's a divorce, so it makes him, he's a loser, right? Couldn't even succeed in marriage. No, don't worry, all you Donald Trump fans. You still have Kim Basinger, Madonna.
Of the National Rifle Association. And will protect the right of all Americans. Parties can't see her crime. Puts our country.
Donald Trump is 45 years old in 1991. Marla Maples is 27. 27, she's already looking at a divorce. I think they had Tiffany, right? So this is dumped his longtime sweetheart, 91, but then they get married. I don't understand where this is actually in Marla Maples' timeline. But a curious people reporter called Trump's office the next day to say, is this true? Carla Bruni, you're with her and not with Marla. 5 minutes later, a man identifying himself as John Miller called back. Oh, yeah, I'm handling publicity for Donald Trump. John Miller said he confirmed everything in detail. He says it was over with Marla. It doesn't matter if Marla talks. He doesn't care. Go ahead, Marla. You can talk if you want to. As for the diamond ring Donald had bought Marla, it was never an engagement ring. It was an engagement. They were going to get married. It's over. It's over between them two. Rather than mutual casualties of a system forcefully rigged towards those at the top. John Barron is who he sometimes is, John Barron being his son, right, his, 10-year-old son or so. And then you have John Miller. So sometimes Donald Trump would pretend to be John Barron. Sometimes he would pretend to be John Miller to be his own PR agent to spread this bullshit around. He's a loser, right? He's getting a divorce, so he's got to cover. Or this is a power play. He's trying to get Marla Maples in line. Hey, this is how it'll look, if it's over between us. It's going to be a horrible thing in the media, and I'll win. I bet you I'll beat you. Stephen Miller, who is, like a son to him now. Basically, Stephen Miller is in power. He's the one in charge. And their power will not be questioned, okay? So interesting that it picks John Barron, the name of a son, then John Miller, the name of the advisor. So Miller, he was like, look, all the women love Donald. Of It continued with every word of our independence, the audacity to declare that all men are created equal, an imperfect promise for a nation struggling to become a more perfect union. Howard Stern creeps me right the fuck out. He is so creepy. I cannot listen to a second. Everything he says, it just, just doused with creepiness. He'll just say, hello, and it's just like, gross, man. All the time, you just never let up, huh? Just a dirty old man. So I can't stand listening to like a second of him. So it just kind of shows you that how needy Donald was for attention. He goes on Howard Stern shows and is titillating, talks about a sex life, but essentially isn't like, totally in. But it's like, who gives a shit? Why is this conversation happening? But we were able to ascertain some information. He said having sex in the 80s was his Vietnam. He didn't wear protection with Stormy Daniels. That's something different, but just something interesting. So he didn't wear protection with Stormy Daniels. Really? The question comes up, what about this Carla Bruni? What about this Carla Bruni? You had sex, you didn't have sex. What's going on? As soon as Howard Stern mentions Carla Bruni, he says very flat-chested women, not your kind of women, Howard. So the second Stern mentioned her name, same reports she broke up with the affair with future Molly Maples are not true. So Donald Trump says, no, that's not true. It wasn't because of Carla Bruni. But he insults her, talks about, she's flat-chested. And I saw some article in some other paper, actually she mentioned she wasn't like voluptuous. She was, a slim woman. But now he wants to discount it, right? But he wants people to speculate about this shit. It's publicity. He wants the attention. He's an attention whore. So he asked Donald if he dated her. Well, did you ever date her? And Trump said, I'm not going to comment on this. Rather than mutual casualties of a system forcefully rigged towards those at the top. And it grew with every suffragette step, every freedman rider's voice, and every weary soul we welcome to our shores. Daily Mail did get a hold of Trump, and I want to say, within the month of 1991, June, when this had happened, maybe July, and he did, eventually fess up and say, no, these stories are sheer nonsense. But she is a friend. She's a friend, and she only says that they met one time. So they're friends. He's still trying to pretend as if they have a continuing relationship. But perhaps, he's the president, so the French royalty, the French royal families would be important. It's not Nicolas Sarkozy anymore. I think she's still married to him, but he's not the leader of France anymore. So, I don't know. These stories are sheer nonsense. So he's starting to tell the truth. She's a friend. Is she? I don't. It's hard to tell what's true, what's not true. So then he finally asked Howard Stern, did you ever date her? Were you all ever an item? Was this ever? Build a wall. My generation's going to tear it down. And it grew with every suffragette step, every freedman rider's voice, and every weary soul we welcome to our shores. Stop fucking Carla Bruni. That's what Howard Stern asked. Why would you ever stop fucking her? If you're fucking Carla Bruni, oh my God, this supermodel and this singer, songwriter, friend, whatever, some famous woman, why would you stop fucking Carla Bruni? Immediately, Trump says you stop when you meet someone better. So again, he just asked. He's just like adding to this. He just add to the, just trying to be titillating and trying to be like, I don't know. Did I? Didn't I? And no, you didn't, Donald. You fucking lied about it. Everybody knows that you lied about it. So he refuses to answer. Can I comment? Let me just say no comment. Can I say no comment? I'm trying to be a diplomat for this country. As a great diplomat, Howard, as a great diplomat, let me just say no comment. So as a person who had lied about it, then, tried to cover it up with this fake persona, and then got caught out by it, I don't want to bring any of that. It was very humiliating for in God we trust, right? So if they don't say the pledge, under God, one nation under God, that's the problem with this country is God has been taken out of the school system. So in order for kids to believe that there's an invisible man living up in the clouds, staring down at them and judging them, and that big man will throw them into the ashy fire pits of hell if they do wrong. The only way they'll believe that horse shit as if we beat it into them. And of course, in this country, you have the freedom to stand, to sit, to kneel. But let's be honest, no, you don't. And if you don't stand for the pledge, I will beat your kid. I will beat you, and I'll beat your kid. And you know what? 80% of this country is for corporal punishment anyways, so I'm sure I'll be treated like a goddamn champion. Anyways, I'm Karen Smith, the fascist, and I'm on paid I'm Karen Smith, the fascist, and I'm on paid administrative leave. You bravely say me too. You steadfastly say Black Lives Matter. You wade through flood waters, battle hurricanes, brave wildfires, and mudslides to save a stranger. You battle your own quiet battles every single day. You drag your weary bodies to that extra shift so that your families won't feel the sting of scarcity. You leave loved ones at home to defend our country overseas or patrol our neighborhoods at night. You serve, you rescue, you help, you heal. That more than any law or leader debate or disagreement, that is what drives us towards progress.
The budget is no better. President Obama has almost doubled our national debt to more than $19 trillion and growing. And yet,